Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse pregame show, special playoff pregame show, because we have a very special guest who's come out of semi-retirement, retirement, whatever it is. He's been chilling, enjoying his life, and also enjoying these New York Knicks. We got Mr. Stephen Fox in the house, people. Welcome, Foxy. It's great to see you, brother.
Yo, shout out to you, shout out to the chat, shout out to the Knicks fandom. I've missed you. I can't wait to talk Knicks basketball. Folks, sorry for the delay. My headphones died at the last second, so this is like threw my iPad together to put this together. I apologize for the delay, but I can't wait to talk to you guys.
Shout out to the chat. We got a lot of people here excited to see you, Foxy. We got Jigaman Porto. We got Rudy Pooty. We got Connor Tulin, Buzzer Beater. Everyone here. Jose Castillo. Jesse Rodriguez. What's up, Jesse? All right. Yeah, we're going to talk Knicks. We're going to break down. We're going to talk about game one. I'm going to let Foxy talk about whatever he wants to talk about. Let's put it that way. But we are going to focus on what adjustments might be made for game two. And one thing is we have heard, actually I haven't heard yet for sure, that Embiid and Maxey were listed as questionable. It hasn't been updated yet. If you guys hear anything, just drop it in the chat. Foxy cannot see the chat, just so you know. So if there's anything specific you want Foxy to hear or whatever, just put it in there. Maybe I don't know. We need put some kind of an icon up there, so I know to check it out and ask him to relay the question to him. Let's see. So the New York Knicks took care of business game one against the Philadelphia 76ers. It was a wild game of runs. It was a game of runs. Brunson struggled in the beginning. First thing I will say, here's what I want to know. I want to know from Foxy, what were his thoughts and feelings about game one?
Elated and scared the hell that when our Brunson, hey, those things happen to everyone. They're throwing length at him, they're double teaming him, and it's going to cause the inefficiency. Would he have 22 points on 26 shots? So but the guys coming together, when you have the bench scoring 41 points and Mitch Bojan and Deuce, they saved the day. And, Josh Hart's 4 threes. So I was elated that happened, but you don't want that to happen on every one of our starters was negative. And we won that game, which is impressive. But we're not going to get away with that too often. So I hope everyone just snaps back and Dante snaps back. You said to me before the game, hey, that Deuce and Bojan are going to, play more than Dante. I'd say, get out of here, man. Yeah. So, but I was proud of them. Great offensive rebounding. They're tough, man. They're just so tough that we'll see who plays. If Embiid, their game time decisions, and Maxey, I think they're definitely going to play. But I was happy that they pulled it out. But come on, man. Every one of our starters, it was negative. You don't see that very often, especially with our guy OG.
I know. I think that was his first minus game as a Knick. Yeah, it is interesting. So there's a couple of ways to look at that. One is like what you're saying, like it could be alarming. It could mean that the starting unit, as they currently are right now, are basically not going to hold water. They're going to give up leads, and then it might require the bench, which has been mostly Bojan has been inconsistent. The bench only went 3 deep, so when 1/3 of your guys is such a high variance guy. It makes it tricky. And also Deuce, who had a fantastic game, probably, him and Mitch share the game ball. But we also, he's been consistent throughout the season. He's averaged 40% plus from the 3-point line, no matter, the frequency of minutes, the volume of shots, he's maintained it. Usually you average 3-pointers a game. When you go up to 7 or 8, the percentage drops. It hasn't with him. So shout out to him, but he will occasionally have that 1 for 7 game, and then if the starting unit is struggling, then that is a concern. I kind of look at it as, and I think this will also go into when we talk about what adjustments will probably be made in game 2. I look at it as if I were the Sixers, I'd be more concerned than the Knicks about that, because it means you were able to beat their first unit, but in the end, you lost the game because that other team was able to piece together a hybrid unit that destroyed you. Because then when you look at what were the pluses for Deuce was a plus 35.
He was a plus 20, I thought.
Plus 20 for him. I thought that was Mitch. Mitch
No,
was
plus 37.
plus 37 for Deuce. And I
Yeah.
think Bojan was a high plus 20 something.
27.
27. So 20, 27, and 37. So when you look at it that way, and then those three, when they were doing that damage, they were on sharing the floor with primarily OG and Hart, or OG and Brunson. And that, so that nice little combo there really is how the Knicks went on those great runs. So it's interesting. I mean, but it's one game. They were able to. Brunson missed shots that he normally makes. I did think I was listening to another podcast, and they pointed out something great that he seemed to be in the very beginning of the game to be foul baiting, foul hunting, and not more. He was more concerned with that than actually making the bucket. It's a little extreme for him. But I could see that. I could see that could throw him off a bit. He wanted to establish that, hey, I should be getting calls right from the beginning, and he wasn't, and it was frustrating him. But he was missing some bunnies that he normally makes. I just don't. I mean, do you think? How do you think Brunson will respond so that he can be the Brunson that he's usually is?
History repeats itself. He's going to play well. He takes it upon his shoulders. He has a lot of pride, and but it's difficult. You're throwing Batum, and you're throwing. A lot of people hate Oubre, but he's playing tough D, man.
Yes.
And again, that's 6'7" with those 7-foot wingspans, and they're double teaming, and it's making it difficult. And it's also been a long season on him. It adds up, and it's the worst time. You still want him to be fresh, but he's putting a whole lot of minutes carrying a team on his back for the season with the injuries to Randall and everybody else. But I think he's gonna play well. It's just that we need Dante to play well. We need OG to play well, and he made a big shot, OG, but we need more than 11 points.
Vegas has us the favorite again, which is interesting. Did you notice that the minute the matchup was established last week, that Philly was the favorite at first? I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Joel and Maxey have both been upgraded to game time decisions from questionable.
They're going to play.
They're going to play. So they're going to play. That's just gamemanship by Nurse. But let's talk a little bit about Joel Embiid. What you saw from him, what you liked, what you were worried about, and what you think the Knicks did well against him.
He's a spectacular player. You're talking about a guy that's been a blink away from MVP for a number of years now, and he's 80%. He's nowhere near. It was his first dunk, the one that hurt his knee. But he's such an elite player that even at 80%, he's devastating. And you saw that Ihart, who's had a spectacular season, we needed Mitch to come up big and with that strength of his to play against them. But Embiid's a dangerous guy, but I'm a Bronx boy. Go for go against him. Put the body on him. Hard fouls. Make him run. Embiid's a great player. I'd never trade for him, especially seriously
Because of the injuries.
Injuries, hitting 30, big guys. I don't like how big guys age, so I know those rumors, but he's gonna put up his points. He's gonna get his rebounds. But hopefully he doesn't have the dexterity on the defensive side, where in the past, more block shots and stuff like that. So I feel comfortable there. I just want, Embiid's going to get his points. it's just Lowry. I don't want him to get another 18 points. Those Villanova guys are so tough. I just don't
Yeah.
want Batum. I don't want other guys to come up tonight, and somebody that we're not expecting to have a big game.
Yeah, Jesse Rodriguez is saying, and I like what he's saying here. Let me see. I'll put this up on the screen here. Hold on. He's pointing out that we should put Embiid in more pick and rolls.
It was a chess match between Nurse and Thibodeau on that, especially in that fourth quarter. So we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely should. I think we should challenge Embiid more. I felt Josh Hart a couple of times, kind of like, he recoiled. He didn't challenge Embiid. I think he was still thinking of him as Embiid of old. I think we have to challenge him. We have to force him to make those plays. We can't just give it to him. We can't just get towards the rim and then start kind of circling around and dribbling and find an outlet. No, if you've got some kind of daylight, go try and finish. If you get fouled, you get blocked.
Or like I thought you were going to say, get him in foul trouble
and get him in foul trouble. Exactly. Totally. And if Mitch is on the floor and you go up and Embiid blocks or whatever, who knows? Mitch could get the offensive rebound, the deflection, and put it back. I think that definitely has to be a strategy. Thanks, Jesse.
I just wanted to give a shout out to you. Over the last several years, your predictions have been, unbelievably accurate. And you made a comment X amount of weeks ago that, 10 games, Mitchell will get himself back. 11 games, God bless you, man. You won't give me any stock tips, but this you tell me. So, between you and Dylan, the brilliant Dylan and his math knowledge, give me some tips. But you were right on, and we talked about this off the air.
You're talking about this?
Yeah, that he lacked explosion. And especially what you and I call second bounce, going up and then that second bounce going up.
That was his bread and butter. His second bounce was his bread and butter his whole career.
I know, but you and I were like saying, "Oh, jeepers!" Whether he put on weight, the ankle, whatever it was, he didn't have it in the first games, and all of a sudden, and you know what? There was a look in Mitch's eye on the play with Maxey where he blocked it and then knocked the ball off him out of bounds, and it was Nick's ball. Remember that play?
Hold on. Sorry. I got to respond here. Sorry about that. Everybody.
No worries. But it was like you could see Mitch get energized, like the old Mitch was coming back when he made that block on Maxey and the ball went and he threw the ball off Maxey out of bounds and it was Nick's ball.
That was a great play.
Mitch had to look like I'm getting myself back.
Yeah.
And that, the block on the 3-point shot and, shutting Paul Reed's mouth. I really and hey, the foul shots. Yo,
he hit his foul free throws. Incredible.
Yeah. So you don't want, I don't know how you could have Mitch come to the ball on that. Like, what were you thinking? That they're going to foul Mitch. We don't want that. He made the foul shot, so we got away with murder on that. But Tibbs, please don't have him come to the ball like that again. But he came up big, but we don't want Mitch in that situation. We got away with murder. Let's not play again. Throw the dice.
You know what I love the most about it? And same with Deuce and Bogey too. The three of them rose to the occasion. Yeah, they saw what was happening. They saw the team was in trouble, and they came out with a total dog mentality. Bojan, for whatever, he got off to such an awkward start with us, whatever, but he has that dog mentality. He's been a starter his whole life. He's been a winner his whole life, and most of his life. That's why the Detroit period for him must have been,
for anyone
must have been really damaging. Yeah, but he has that, and Deuce, I mean, talk about stepping up big time. And I love, there were moments there where he was like, you know what, I'm going to find a seam and get down into the teeth of this defense, and he did it. That was that one high left-handed layup, high off gorgeous over Embiid.
It was gorgeous. I was like, I was not expecting that. I'm like, because one of my pet peeves with Deuce, I am so happy with his shooting over 40% on catch and shoot. But I have a thing about guys that are 6'2". You have to be able to create your own shot. And Miles's showing problems getting separation. So he made that move and that left hand all high off the backboard for that. Oh, it was like, yo, keep doing that, son. You
It was
keep him even.
spectacular.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. And I love when guys use both hands like that. So, yo,
And I
the
gotta say,
thing,
that's a shout out to the G League too, because he didn't have time up here to do that, to work on that, especially when he was low man on the totem pole. So they kept sending him to Westchester, and he was working on all that stuff. It just took a while for us to see it, and this season it came.
yeah. And you and I have commented like that. We both scouted him at West Virginia. Folks, he had a really sweet midi game at West Virginia.
And he can shoot the
So
midi now. He hits. He's surprisingly is decent
yeah,
with the mid range. We
yeah.
have
And we
him.
want
OG is good mid range, and Brunson is phenomenal mid
Yeah,
range.
yeah. OG's still coming back from his rhythm, but like you said, he does have a really nice shot. But I have to give shout out also to Leon on stuff before the season. There's all this talk that we were going to go for a star, and we didn't get one. And I looked, and I made a comment to a couple of friends that I took a step back and thought about it, and I said, the league is changing, the players are changing. Uh, I think that they really understand that, Leon and Tibbs, and that putting together the Villanova boys, all Tibbs needed in Chicago, and now what he has here is players that will execute on his strategy. He has Tibbs players now. I'll never forget the day that Brunson, the footage on X or Twitter at that time, that when he was told that Josh was traded to the Knicks, you could not fake that
Yeah,
sincerity of his excitement because he knew he was a winner.
he was
He
so
had
happy.
well, he knew that some of the guys that are no longer here, you didn't want to go to war with. Guys like Toppin, who played 4 minutes yesterday. We didn't miss him. We didn't miss Cam Reddish. They got rid of the soft players. This is, and I have to, they knew that the Villanova boys were
The
going
weak
to be,
defenders. We got rid of the weak defenders too. I mean, that
yeah,
was
yeah. So they got the Villanova
except for IQ.
boys, but also they got a football player. Miles has a football mentality. That's like going to Villanova, meaning this is a team that you don't want to play. They'll run through a wall.
Totally. It's hard to fathom that this Sixer squad could win 4 games off of the this Knicks team. The way they hustle, the way they create. I mean, the second chance opportunities that they create. I love that moment with Mitch when he just kind of like wrestled the ball away from Embiid and it ended up being a jump ball. He should have had the ball. It shouldn't have been a jump ball because Embiid didn't really.
Or a foul on Embiid.
Yeah, yeah. But just the passion, and I think of any player on the Knicks, when he makes a spectacular play, and he shows emotion and everything, it's infectious for the rest of the team. Everyone's like, "Oh, we got Mitch. Mitch is in the house." Like they feel that vibe from him. It's don't want to compare it to Willis Reed or anything like that, but you know what I mean. There's a sense of safety that these guys have when he's out there doing his thing. And last night was the first time we saw the Mitch of the first month and a half of the season, or first 2 months of the season, where he was playing outstanding in that first 2 months.
I'm a big fan of iHeart, and one of the things I'm a big fan of, nobody was cheering more for Mitch than iHeart on the bench, and that's a class act. That's the type of team. Brunson, the first press conference with Tibbs, he talked about culture, and that's what's changed here. He brought in somebody that, the thing that I think gets lost with Brunson is that he was an academic All-American. He's a scholar athlete.
He's a highly intelligent guy.
Yeah, so you get him and the other guys, we got a smart team, and I like that. I love smart. And Brunson, I don't think gets enough credit.
In that respect, yeah, probably not.
In
But
any respect, he got snubbed.
lately, yeah. Well, he you mean in the draft? Yeah.
No, the awards.
Oh, the awards. I think he's going to get All NBA though.
Yeah, well, if they don't, that's a crime.
I heard Windhorst and Bontemps both say they put him on their first ballot. So, I mean, I don't know how many people vote, but it's good to hear those two guys who have a lot of influence say that. Let me shout out to the chat. We got Lemmy Live in the house, 19 Conman NYC 84 in the house. We got Lex the Destroyer, best mod around. Victor Rivera, what's up, brother? George Thomas, thank you so much, brother. Alex Quispe, what's up, man? Everyone's hyped. Hyped. We are hyped. We win today. Series is over. I mean, the series is over in my respect anyway, but, you know, anything can happen. But definitely we win today. I think so. This is why it's a must win for the Sixers. We can drop this game and actually still go down to Philadelphia and win those two. So, but I think it's going to be, we'll win tonight, probably split one of the two in Philly because they're going to rise up. At some point, three guys are going to catch fire for them. And they'll figure out, they'll put up enough points to beat us. It'll happen for a game. Embiid is not the guy who he was before. We know that. He's not at the MVP level. He tried to be in the first quarter and a half. And then Mitch came into the game and started frustrating the hell out of him. And he couldn't do what he wanted to do. And that's why he got a little crafty. And when he slipped under, he bounced the ball alley-ooped himself off the backboard to try to create that opportunity. He had nothing. So he did that, and that's when he got hurt. So I don't think he's going to be attempting anything like that again. And apparently that was the first dunk he's attempted since he came back from his injury. Yeah, that was a tough lesson to learn that quickly. But he's not the same guy. He's like, I would put him at like, even though his numbers were good, I put him at like 80. He's like 80% Embiid. Yeah.
It's frightening though, at 80% that play and then that bounce pass.
Oh yeah, his passing is like I gotta
God.
Shout him out, man. That was fabulous. I'm really impressed by that.
His touch is what a touch for a man.
Great touch. Size. He's a great mid-range shooter, but look how tired he was getting. Tired as the game went on. He was missing those shots, and it's the Mitch factor. You know, it like Mitch is so crafty at removing space, eliminating. He closes like you think he's not going to close on you, and then suddenly he's right there. It's you guys got to watch that about him. He's very special that way. So he kind of baits the guy to think he's got space to shoot. He used to do it when he was younger, even better. He could like close out from the paint, go out and block a 3-point attempt. But now he still can do it, not to that extreme, but that I like. And like OG has a little bit of that too. And I think it's just the great defenders, they know how they can force a guy to try to make a shot attempt that they still have a chance to challenge. And I love that about him. And that's some of the stuff we were missing in the first 8 games that he was playing. I started seeing signs of life in him, and like around game 9 and game 10 for him. Perfect then in game 11. We saw the Mitch.
Yeah, but you called it, man. Kudos.
The big Mitch. All right. Let's see. Any questions here for you here? Nothing yet. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button for us. Subscribe to the channel. Follow Foxy on Twitter, and definitely share this video too. That'll be helpful. And if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you're alerted when we go live. And if you're watching this later on replay, drop your comments. I read them all. Definitely appreciate that. They help me. You guys are like my committee, my advisors. Definitely helps. All right, let's get into talking about what is going to happen here now. What's going to happen in game 2? What adjustments will Nick Nurse and Tom Thibodeau make in game 2? I mean, I've kind of already heard some. Nurse was asked about, what they could do. What was the problem? Rebounding was a big issue for them. We killed them on the offensive glass. He's thinking about playing Paul Reed alongside Joel Embiid. So he's thinking about going big. What are your thoughts on that? It could also be bullshit, just so you know. Nurses like that. He could like try to make you think that, so try to get you to prepare for something like that. But I think it's interesting. What do you think? You think it'd be effective?
Paul Reed doesn't put any fear at all in me. I think whether whether it's OG, Josh Hart, hey, we led the league in offensive rebounding, so every game, whether it's Josh and the other guys, and they go that way. I wouldn't be surprised we went 8 strong, but he brings in Precious a little more maybe if he goes with that lineup. But yeah, I think we do well. I think Tibbs realizes that knee on a bead. Go at him, exhaust him. You see our guy JD,
yeah. Confirm Maxey is playing. What about Embiid?
They're both going to play. We predicted that. So JD's just confirming what we all knew, that it's all bull. If anyone, hey, this is the money, man. This is the
I know,
show.
This is it. They lose, they're gone. They're done.
This is the show, man.
They've gotten to the second round 4 out of the last 5 seasons, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be a major disappointment if the Sixers cannot get out of the first round. But unfortunately, they're battling the 2-seed Knicks. Man. So it's confirmed Maxey's playing, but it's not confirmed Joel's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll go with that.
And
Thanks, JD.
Thanks, JD. And I hate when I hear guys have an illness. Those are the guys who always go off for 42. I thought they were done. I thought it was good. He was like, well, on a deathbed or something, sick. Yeah. The thing that's been concerning me, and one of the adjustments I think Tibbs has to make on help defense, is it started in the last couple of weeks. And you and I talked about it yesterday, that Cam Thomas at will ate the Knicks up.
Mm-hmm.
Colby White ate up the Knicks at will, did what he wanted, got to the hole. And Maxey, that speed and everything, we're getting killed. Guys are doing what they want when they want to do it, and that did not happen. And one of the Tibbs' favorite things is field goal percentage. Our defensive field goal percentage is not what it has been in the past. So we're not playing at that level. So, hey, you got a super chat?
The Bro God. Time to show the league who we are, and let's get this dub. I want this one. I want this one bad.
Thank you.
I want this game to win so bad. Thank you so much for the contribution, brother. Definitely. Dracito says FanDuel got Embiid listed. I think that means he's going to play. So
he's definitely going to play, man.
Oh, okay. My son just arrived. He's here. He's going to watch the game with me.
Dylan.
Man, we were hyped watching that game the other day.
Oh, I was on the edge of the seat. Hey, I was exhausted after the first half.
Yeah, I know, right? It was a tough one. Tough one. And then that third quarter, it almost killed me. Why? Josh Hart, who was amazing overall in the third quarter, was killing me. That's when he was not challenging Embiid. So he's just throwing balls out, doing terrible passes, fouling people. It was like he lost his mind for like a 10-minute period. And then clicked in. And when he's wide open and when he's hitting threes, there is nobody can beat this team if Josh Hart is going to hit his threes. He's not going to hit 3 or 4, out of 5 every game. We know that.
It's so weird, whether you out in LA or me here in Jersey, you could feel over the TV when he hit those shots, especially that last 3, Josh Hart. The crowd just went nuts, man. You could feel that sound wave all over the country.
Oh, we were going nuts here. Yeah. I got a tweet from Stefan Bondi. He said, Bojan Bogdanovic said previous x-ray on his left wrist was negative. It's sore. It does hurt. That's what it is. I'm trying to get better doing my treatments. That's how it is right now. It's about rest and treatment, but right now I cannot get the rest. So at the end of the day, it's either you are playing or you are not playing. So I'm playing, and I don't want to complain about it. That's a dog right there. Bojan's a dog. Steve Popper tweeted this out. Mavs won tiebreaker with the Knicks. So Knicks have the 24th and 25th picks in the 24 draft.
Ryan Dunn, forward, 6'8", 7'2" wingspan from Virginia.
Yeah, I haven't done my enough of my homework yet, but we'll get to that.
Anytime you draft in the 20s, they're going to have some fleas, but he's the best defensive player in the country. 5 stocks a game. I always like that.
There you go. Confirmed Embiid playing. All right. So how can this team adjust to the zone? Which I'm still kind of shocked that we struggle with the zone so much after having seen it throughout the whole season. Teams have thrown it at us. It stagnates us. At times they just look unfocused. They just don't know what to do, which is kind of shocking. What can this Knicks teams do?
Well, we shot 45.7% from 3.
Yeah, that helped.
Just a little bit, So
that was Deuce. That was Deuce and Bojan and Hart.
Literally, Hart in the fourth quarter, but everybody else, yeah. So that's it. And what we saw, whether Josh or Isaiah at that center, at the middle, split that zone. And get to the hole and stuff and kick it out, but just keep hitting your threes, and that's how you beat the zone.
I would like to see, for one, the ball not in Brunson's hands during the zone as much as it is. Have him play off ball a little more. And another thing I would like to see is,
but who'd you put the ball's hand? Who would you? Well,
it would have to be Dante or Hart. At that point, even OG, run a pick and roll. There's a lot of things you can do. One thing I would love to see is when iHart is on the court, I'd love to see him at the top and just send two cutters at the same time. That collapses a zone, and then you send JB. So, and that's how you basically you're creating like a wave, and then you send JB in there, bounce pass to him, and let him finish however he wants to finish. He'll get a little more creative with that zone, where we get like so steady, we just kind of dribble around, and we're like, okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do dribble handoff. It's just we don't respond that well.
Even the dribble handoffs were tight. Some of those were real close. Man, Maxey was in there. They were playing real tough D. It was like, whoa! I thought that was going to get stolen. That was a close one.
Yeah. Give them credit because they hustled. They played good defense. The Sixers against us, very good defense. So how do you think Nurse is going to respond? Other than possibly, considering going big against us to counteract our rebounding prowess. What do you think?
I think he's just going to say a Hail Mary that, Lowry has another strong game, that Maxey is going to be unstoppable with that speed. Embiid is Embiid, and hopefully Batum, he didn't do it the last game, but he did it, the week before he came up big. That's a couple of the other guys come up big.
Yeah, I think well, Maxey, he came up pretty big for them in that game one.
He's going to come up big in every the old adage, speed kills. OG is all world, but you put a 6'8" wing. The kryptonite of a 6'8" wing is blinding speed. You're asking too much of OG to try to. You can't get in front of him. Deuce can't get in front of him. Obviously, Brunson can.
Deuce did a decent job of bothering Maxey. He did a decent job, but as the game wore on, Maxey found the seam.
Yeah, 33 points.
Yeah. But he did a decent job of doing that. So I think that's one thing Thibs is going to look at.
He shot only 33% from 3. I agree with you.
Yeah. JD has a question here. He says, question, does Nurse duplicate game one and test the Knicks role players to beat them again? Or does he play more straight up and traps on Brunson and let his wings play straight up? What do you think?
I think the latter.
You think he's going to allow? Really? He's not gonna challenge the role players? to beat them again, or you think he's going to just play everyone straight up again? I mean, not again, but adjust.
I don't think the role. I don't. Yeah, I think the role players. I think maybe he's going to think it was an anomaly in that game one, that they're not going to be able to do that again. And for them to win, it's making Brunson again highly inefficient. 26 shots, 22 points on 26 shots. That's what you want to do.
So you think he's not going to adjust in that scenario? You think he's going to keep trapping Brunson? Yeah. Now they were employing this. They were blitzing him, they were trapping him, double teaming him. There was even a third guy at times to take that space away, and that's something that Spoelstra had done versus Brunson in the last game against the last Miami game against the Knicks, where they almost employed a little roving triangle zone around Jalen, and then
there's nobody else that's going to frighten you.
Yeah, right. But that's the thing. We do have some guys who can shoot. So are they going to shoot as incredible as they did in game one? It's going to be interesting. I think you're right. I don't think Nurse is going to overreact. I don't think he's going to change his plan. I think he probably looks at that game one plan, defensive scheme that he had on Brunson as a victory, as it worked. It was effective. And if his team had just taken care of the ball better, had rebounded better, that they could have won that game. I think that's how he feels about it. So then if you feel that way, why would you change your approach?
Yeah, you cut down the offensive rebounds on the Knicks, and that changes everything.
Yeah. All those second chance opportunities, that changes a lot. But the Knicks are that's what they've been doing all season. So you're saying you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get them to not do what they've been doing all season. That was the whole strategy in game one, and they still did it. And I would be frustrated if I was a Sixers coach right now, trying to figure out how to stop this team.
Yeah, you're not expecting Deuce to come up big like that at all. Look at the minutes. The guy, he played nothing in his first few seasons, and now because of injuries, he put all this time in. And like you said, his shot looks gorgeous, man. That's he put the work in, and hopefully this summer he'll put in more work on floaters and on his handle, so he can create a little more separation. And he has a great, funny. JD and I were talking a week ago or so, and said, "Hey, what do you think of a backcourt next season on a second team of Rokas at the point guard and Deuce at the 2?"
The second team? Yeah.
Second team.
Rokas could be here. Yeah. I mean, he's been waiting.
6'5", can shoot the 3, floor general.
Good size, decent defender.
Yeah. Super smart, great at breaking down defenses. Obviously, he's never going to displace our guy Brunson, but we need somebody, we don't want Brunson playing those minutes. We need to extend his career. And the thing I'm happy about that he wasn't picked for the USA team. I want him to get some rest.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that. One thing I'll say, I think Sixers dodged one bullet, which was Dante DiVincenzo. I think he drastically underperformed, and really not for very good reasons. He had looks. It's just his timing was a little off. His shot was just a little bit off. I don't think, did he even have one finish at the rim? Can't even remember. He's been doing that a lot more lately. So I think we're going to see a very different big Ragu in game 2. I think that's going to be a big adjustment. It's not because I think the ball's going to be a little bit less in Brunson's hands. This is what the Thibs' adjustment I think is going to be. A little bit less in Brunson's hands, more in Dante's hands, and there'll be some screens, some pick and rolls with OG and Dante, and possibly Mitch or an iHeart and Dante, and see what happens there. See if Dante can get in his rhythm early, because we know that Brunson, at any time, he'll just snap right into it. We've seen him have, go 1 for 6 and then, hit 10 out of 12. It's not like when he gets off to a slow start, doesn't necessarily mean he'll be that way the whole game. It's similar to a Maxey. So I think, but with Dante, he's so crucial. And like you were saying, we can't depend on Deuce, performing at that level as he did, every game. I mean, that was just amazing. So Dante has to really step up tonight. How do you
Yeah.
see Dante responding?
I think Tibbs is going to say something that he said to our former player RJ Barrett. For RJ to be at his best, he used to say to him, "I need you to be aggressive," and I think he's going to say the same thing to Dante. Like you said, the thing that surprised me this year, I did not realize how athletic Dante is. You
Yeah.
know, his athleticism surprised me this season. I watched him, for a while, but it was like, wow, he's got hops and he's got burst. So I'd like him, like you said, get to the hole. And if those guys are worried that he's going to take that dribble and get to the hole, it makes they're going to guard him a lot different for that outside shot if they're worried that he's going to get, try to get to the hole. So, but I actually don't see Dante touching if they're going to take the ball out of, I don't think that's Dante's strength. I think it'll be more in Josh Hart's hands than in with Dante's. And I don't think Miles also. Miles does not like to be Miles is not somebody that likes pressure on him when he's dribbling,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I think their hands are tied like that. That it's going to be it's going to either be Josh, I think, besides Brunson, obviously.
Yeah. Well, Josh, he brings the ball up. He does it. He initiates the offense. I could see that continuing, and he did that. Deuce did actually handle the ball a lot in game one because he had to. He had to. And I think he got more comfortable as the game wore on. But you're right. I mean, his handle has improved this season over the previous. That I think that's what really kept him off the floor. Honestly, was his handle. And it limited what he could do offensively, but it's dramatically improved. It's still not there. It's not point guard level yet, but I could see that becoming that. I could see him working on that over the summer. I think that's the next evolution for him. I just don't want Thibs to wait so long to make his adjustments. If Embiid is out there, he's going to come out. He starts cooking, and Ihart's looking lost again and like concerned. He got a little too worried about the foul trouble, and then he still ended up committing fouls. If it comes down to it, maybe even in the second half, start Mitch right away.
I'm with you. Hey, you have to not be married to anything. You have to put your finger on the pulse of the game. And if Mitch, hey, who would have guessed that Mitch would have played 30, almost 31 minutes and I Heart 18?
Yeah, that was wild when I saw that.
Exactly. But you know what? That's like you said, that's energizing to Mitch that, hey, man, I lost my starting job, but now I'm coming there. They're going to play Hack a Mitch in crunch time, and then he hits those shots, and he did that, in prior games. So Mitch is showing, hey, I got some, I'm a tough son of a bitch too. I want my job back, and I want to thank you. He has pride, and he's showing that, and that's what we want in a player on this team. If you don't show
4
pride,
blocks. He had 4 blocks. Big
I think
ones, man.
two on Big Mouth Paul Reed, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah, maybe. I get. That's awesome. Yeah. What's up, Alex? Yeah, I'm hyped for this game. So hyped. We're going to wrap this up soon because I want to get ready to watch the game. I'm hyped. This has been great, Foxy, to have you on here. But before we wrap it up, I definitely want to just venture in to discuss anything that's come to mind. Like, what are your thoughts about this whole season?
The season was really, overachieving.
It was exhausting.
Exhausting. I've been writing a book, folks. So I've taken time off, and I've finished a book. I'm working with an editor, and I've not missed a game. But I said to myself, I'm exhausted. As it's nice to be just a fan for a year, not a podcaster, and it's exhausted as a fan. So I can't imagine you as a content creator, what you go through. But this year to lose a second team All NBA player, an All Star for 3 out of the X amount of years in Randall, lose OG for that spell, lose Mitch for that spell, and still have a 50 burger. I would have lost a lot of cash on that. I would never have expected that. So the players, they lived up. Dante exceeded the expectations, and I miss IQ. I won't be lie, but what I was saying earlier is I have to commend that they realize the NBA is changing. Man, you look at Indiana, 150. These guys don't play defense. This league has changed dramatically. So
That's
if you
something
think,
we've seen differently in the playoffs.
yeah, so if you
Dramatic. This is real basketball. We've been watching the past
this is
weekend.
real basketball, but what we're learning on some teams, you can't turn on defense now that it's playoffs. All right, we got to play defense. No, the teams that play defense all season are the ones that are gonna be tough. So the Knicks have that, and I just like I said, the help defense and stuff like that. But shout out to the management for understanding the league changing and getting players that are going to execute on Tibbs' strategy and also add to the culture. There's no punks on this team. This is Brunson's team, and Brunson is low key, but he's the godfather of this team, man. Don't mess with Brunson. All the players that they're going to come on now and then in the future are going to be handpicked by, or they're going to have to go through Brunson because he's the stir that he stirs the drink, man. He's the straw that stirs the drink on this team going forward.
Totally. It's Brunson's team. There's no doubt. But it's really Thibs's team.
Tibbs was finally given. Parcells was famous for the thing. You want me to cook the dinner, but you don't let me buy the groceries. Tibbs. We gave him Kemba. We gave him so many non-Tibbs players in his first few years. Now that he has a team of Tibbs players, Warriors, Villanova boys, and Josh and Brunsons and all these guys, it's a whole different team executing on a strategy.
19 comments, sending you some love.
Yo, back at you, my friend. Nice seeing you.
Yeah. I definitely miss IQ for sure. IQ would have been awesome during this, but Deuce is doing what we would hope IQ to be doing. That's the beauty of it. IQ gives you a little more, but at this point, Deuce is playing the role of IQ, and we are blessed to have him on this team.
And one of the biggest steal contracts I've seen in years.
Oh yeah, that was a great
3
deal.
years. What, 6 to 13 million or something like that?
We should have all known immediately when that contract went through that he was going to become a key part of the rotation. Because there wasn't much indication before that, but JD puts in here. He says Bradley Beal literally said it. Now it's time to play defense and step up, and gave up 120 to Minnesota. Great point, Foxy. You can't. It's true. You got to have that mentality from day one. You can't just be chilling, taking it easy during the regular season, and expect that you're going to be able to meet the challenge that the playoffs brings you defensively.
I'm proud to be, if not the president, vice president of the JD fan club. And he said something real heavy the other day. It's that if this continues on Phoenix and they bomb, look out for us going big time after Booker. Do you imagine Brunson, Booker, OG? Yo!
Yeah. I'm going to have to think about that.
We need, I have a philosophy on shooting guards or just somebody. You have to be able to create a shot with 3 dribbles or less. And we don't have anybody who could create their shot other than Brunson.
Yeah.
And even when Randall comes back, he could have a cigarette by the time he gets his shot off. And
Dante can do the step back, the dribble between the legs. He has that move and step back, which we definitely need to see it tonight. But yeah, it's not the greatest. But OG's got a little bit of something, but
you don't want OG creating his own shot.
Yeah, he's
a 3 and D. He's in the corner with those threes, and maybe a pull up every once in a while. But every time he puts the ball on the floor, you're saying Hail Mary, full of grace. I
love when he dunks it. He's been getting that hoop and dunking it. We need more of that.
Yeah, and the chemistry with him and iHeart and him and others. He's making some nice passes. So but they haven't played a lot together. That's what so why I'm hoping the next few games and stuff like that every game their chemistry grows.
I want to say there's a possibility I'll be on Knicks Fan TV tomorrow night with JD and CP and a
No.
couple other people. It's like a round table. Should be fun. Not 100% confirmed, but look for that. Obviously, I'll tweet about it and stuff if it's going to happen. That'll be a fun thing.
Make sure you bring bagels.
Yeah, bring bagels. All right, we're getting close to game time. What are you expecting?
A Knick win. The thing that I focus on is just from fundamentals. They're the second best foul shooting team in the league, Philadelphia. They shot 92%. We shot 82% from the foul line last game, which is phenomenal.
We did. For us, that's great.
We did. But they shot 90.9. They're the second best in the league. Do not lose this game from the foul line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the, fundamentally just hit your foul shots. Come on. Because this team's not going to. They're second in the league in foul shooting. So that's one of my key things. Hit those threes. We had a great game hitting those threes. Just keep up the rebounding, hit those threes, and go from there.
Oh, wait, I'm seeing.
And we only had 20 assists. So keep, get that ball moving.
Yeah. Well, that's, credit to that zone. That zone was a problem. That's what limits when a team plays effective zone, it brings down the assists.
They shot 34% from three, so let's keep that up.
Yeah. That's one thing that we did well. We definitely played that 3-point line strong. We were out, closing hard on shooters, forcing them to put it on the ground. Guys like Buddy Hield. There were times where Buddy Hield could not get any airspace to launch a three. That was some really tremendous defense we played out there. And then that's when Maxey was like, you know what, fuck this. He started just driving. He's like, because he couldn't get a three off. He couldn't get a three off.
Yeah, but you just nailed it. We don't want Hield all of a sudden having a breakout game. That kills us. We don't want Batum having this breakout game. If we can keep Maxey through a 33 and Embiid and stuff like that, and even 18 from a Kyle Lowry, I think we're going to bring home. Just don't let somebody else kill you that we weren't expected.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of think I have a feeling the game might be very similar to game one.
Yep.
I'm thinking, oh well, and then I'm thinking at the end of the day, I mean, if here's one thing that could really change it. If iHeart plays like the iHeart we've seen him play, get that floater working. His floater, he was like, I don't know, he was like so hesitant to be himself. If he's just plays like himself, and now we have the knowledge that Embiid isn't going to play like the Embiid, the MVP version of himself, which he did come out and look like that in those first 8 minutes of game one. He looked like fantastic. So I think that might have shocked Isaiah a bit. I don't think he was ready for Embiid to look that good because Embiid looked so hobbled in the last game that he played in the play-in. He looked hobbled. So I think it was a shocker to Isaiah. He wasn't ready for that. So this time he has to be ready, and I think he will be ready. And if he's ready and he responds, then the first quarter turns. Then it becomes we start owning that quarter. Because I think that's also going to relax Brunson. He's not going to feel he's got the world on his shoulders and he's got to carry it. He now knows, his teammates can step up big time. I think it's the teams are going to come out with a lot of fire, but in the end, it could be very still close. One team goes on a run, the other team responds with a run, and then we're here in the fourth quarter, and it's like probably 5, 6, 7 points separate the two teams, and whoever makes that final run or plays, close out winning basketball properly, that's the team that wins, and that's going to be the Knicks.
I agree with you. I just don't want us getting close down in a couple of minutes because it's guys like Lowry that will kill you.
Yeah. Hey, Lowry, I know, but he tired. He tired as the game went on.
He's 38.
He's an old boy. He's an old boy. He's out there. When I was 38, yeah, I was tired.
Yeah, but he wasn't tired enough after that timeout to hit that three cold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the amazing thing about him. He's a gamer. He's a gamer. All right, we're getting close to wrapping this up. Foxy, brother, any other parting thoughts before we
Just
check
go
out of here?
Knicks. I love my Knicks. Thank you to the chat, the kind words. We weren't able to see it, but I miss you guys. Shout out to my one of my best friends in the history of life, Keese. I love my guy Keese. Talk to him more than I've ever talked to him before. Uh, there's not a week that doesn't go by where we're not chatting on something, especially if there's UFC fights. So I'm living a blessed life and just having the ability to talk hoops with you and Keese and JD. I'm living a great life.
Beautifully said. One last parting thought. JD wanted to ask you about the draft. He says, can't let Foxy go without a draft question. Foxy, I've never seen a draft where I don't know who is the number one pick. Is this draft as bad as people are saying?
It's a hard one, JD. Great question as always, because I think out of the first 10, probably 7 are going to be international players. So it's not like we have
I think
the ability.
Sar is going to be number one pick.
Sar's number one, no doubt.
Yeah.
Detroit is going to get a stud in him, and he looks good. But also, there's a shooting forward from France. So
Yeah,
but
that
there's
guy. What's his name? He looks good too. He looks really
exactly.
good. He could be better than Sar, actually.
Yeah,
But I don't think Sar. I think Sar's going to be the number one.
yeah, there's a tall point guard. So that's the hardest thing, JD, is scouting the guys from Europe. But obviously, we saw Wimbayama come in, and there's nothing soft about him. So I think it's going to be a better draft than last year's draft, actually. So we'll go from there.
You
But
mean like because you mean more like in the mid to lower part?
No, just some of the
Just
guys.
overall? Do you think of more breakout players?
One Wembayama was all world, but Scoot Henderson was a huge disappointment.
Yeah, we picked it. We picked it. We said if I'm Charlotte picking number 2, I am not taking Scoot.
But who did we say they took? And he had a phenomenal rookie season.
Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller.
He was great. He was great. Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah. So, but the Knicks picking in the 20s, it's so hard, folks. I've gone over to stats that if you're picked in the top 10, you're still like 92% chance that you're never going to be a good player, even though you're a top 10 player. So when you pick in the 20s, you're going to get you're going to have some fleas, but that's why I was going with that defensive. You're not going to get rookies who play for Tibbs unless you play phenomenal defense. And that kid out of Virginia, Ryan Dunn, plays great defense, and maybe something in JD. I talked with him.
Ryan Dunn, what is he, a center?
No, he's a forward, 6'8",
forward.
Small forward with a 7'2" wingspan, best defensive player in the country.
All right, you heard it right here. Foxy is picking Ryan Dunn for the New York Knicks.
Doesn't have much of an offensive game, but talking to JD the other day, he said, you know what? Maybe they can do what they did with Deuce the first couple of years. You work with him in development, G League and everything to get his game up. But if this guy, you can't teach 6'8", 7'2" wingspan, and also he's uber athletic. So if you watch any mixtapes on Ryan Dunn, the guy is a monster on defense.
So there's no Trey Murphy in this draft that you like?
There may be Cody Williams, Jay Williams' brother, Jalen Williams' brother from OKC. Cody Williams is 6'8" out of Colorado.
Wait, which you mean Jay Will or J Dub?
The kid from Santa Clara.
The kid from Santa Clara is J Dub.
Yeah, I get them.
Wait, no. Who's the All-Star one? Who's going to be the All-Star? J Dub. Oh, no. Okay.
Not the kid from Arkansas, the center. The J Dub, number 6, who killed us a week or so ago, who couldn't miss from mid range and stuff. Yeah, he's amazing. You and I picked him as a sleeper, folks. George and I on a draft show a year or so ago.
That was mostly you. Then you turned me on to him. I watched him, and I was like, wow, he's really good. I was
scouting him, and I love this guy and his brother. So his brother 6'8" has those things.
Oh yeah, I watched him from Colorado. That guy is really good. I didn't realize they were brothers.
Yeah,
I like him a lot. There's another guy too. Well, if you're into it, I'd love to do. In a couple of months, we'll do a draft show. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this. Let's go Knicks. The New York Knicks are about to play game 2 of the first round of the playoff series in 2023-24 against the Philadelphia 76ers at MSG, the best place in the world to watch a basketball game. I say that from experience. But, Staples, crypto, it's nice, but it ain't MSG. That's for sure. And the Knicks, I think we're going to come out, we're going to win this game, and then there's going to be discussion about what's going to happen for the Sixers in the summer at this point. It's
I don't care what the discussion is as long as we don't trade for Embiid.
There you go. You heard it here. Foxy does not want to. Embiid he is injury prone. It definitely is a concern for me as well.
Because we're already have one injury prone guy with Mitch,
and we're already dealing with Julius Randle, who's basically last playoffs he was so compromised he might as well have not played, and then this year he's missed it completely. So having too many injury prone guys is a concern, and we already have OG. So I'm with you on that in terms of. But he is incredible. But that's for another time. Tonight is the night the Knicks are going to go 2-up on the Philadelphia 76ers. And I will see you guys in the post-game. I'll be doing a post-game. Probably go live, not sure. But stay tuned for that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the thumbs up button for us. Drop your comments. They help me. I read them all, like I always say. 19 Conman says Cody going top 7. All right, we will see you around the Knicks-Verse.
Love you.